On this episode of Ruts 4x4, we check out Brunswick Junction in WA Southwest. We take a look at the famous Bob's Hill, and we tackle the Big Daddy Hill. We also meet up with the boys from Plan B 4x4. It's 4x4. Today we're going to review Brunswick Junction off-roading area.
Brunswick Junction off-roading area is about 20 minutes south of the small town of Harvey, which itself is about 2 hours south of Perth. So it's a nice easy drive for a weekend or a week.
Well, cool. Let's not talk about it. Let's lock these hubs and get on with it and show you guys what it's all about.
Let's do it.
Now, to start this tour of Brunswick Junction, you have to begin by making your way to the Old Log River crossing. It can be quite narrow for some trucks, so try to stay to the left-hand side, as there is a drop-off in the opposite side and could cause some nasty panel damage if you slip off. Making your way up the first hill is pretty easy during the drier part of the year. However, in winter, this would definitely be a slippery climb, and mud tyres would definitely be recommended.
I'm actually really interested to see how this, how the shorty's going to go on that track. We couldn't get up the rock, couldn't get up the other night.
I'm curious to see the difference if the short wheelbase.
There's some advantages over the long wheelbase on that track, yeah. Probably headed now.
Yeah, mate, I agree, mate. Especially, I think one of the those downhill descents.
Yeah, they're the ones that bother me with the short wheelbase.
Yeah, I think you might struggle on those ones a little bit, but I think it'll come into its own when we get to that last little step up of that hill there, mate.
Yeah, push Yoshi.
I reckon you'll walk up that, mate, easy.
If you're planning on camping here, there's probably no need to bring your own firewood. There is plenty of deadwood around, so it would definitely play to bring a chainsaw or an axe.
I've been writing stories every day of my life.
Hey guys, I know we harp on a little bit about tyre pressures, but it is the most important thing about four-wheel driving that you must get right. Around Brunswick Junction this time of year in the middle of summer, where the majority rocks and fairly hard dirt, around about 25 psi works pretty well.
Now, with our tyres there down to the correct pressure, it was time to start checking out some of the tracks that Brunswick Junction had to offer. And by the looks of it, I wasn't the only one that was excited. One of the advantages of having lockers is on downhill ascents. If you have the rear locker on, it can actually keep the truck nice and straight, so you haven't got a free spinning wheel and you'll lose traction on one wheel that can pull the car to the left or the right. So give it a go, have your rear locker on, obviously low first, use the engine braking, and you'll notice that the rear locker will keep the car more stable and straight on your downhill ascents. Well, that's the idea anyway. As I'm sure you're all well aware, video never does these hills any justice. They're actually quite steep and required a little bit of handbrake as well as engine braking to make it down these hills. Behind us is one of the challenges that a lot of people come to Brunswick Junction off-roading area. So yeah, we're going to conduct this tomorrow. It's not going to be a muddy hill climb like it would be in winter, but it still offers us a fair bit of fun and some chances to test out the trucks. So how do you think the Toyota's going to go?
Oh mate, I think she'll have no dramas at all. I'm a bit worried about your clearance.
Oh, righty, eh?
I'll tell you that, the old diff clearance with those little pizzly tyres.
Well, I guess we'll just have to wait and see, eh? And see how it goes.
Let's do it.
The old Nissan Toyota rivalry, eh? Now, The tracks that we've done so far in this video are not limited to big trucks. If you have a soft-roader, such as an X-Trail, these tracks can be done safely with a little bit of experience, some smart wheel placement and an experienced spotter.
I've been writing stories every day of my
By the looks of it, I'm definitely going to have to get under the patrol at some stage with some degreaser. She's looking a bit manky under there. Hey, I got a joke for you, Abo.
Oh, here it goes.
There's a punchline missing.
Did you hear about the new movie that Arnold Schwarzenegger's starring in?
Oh no.
Toyota recall.
Oh.
Right, so we just came around the bend up there and we've come across quite an interesting hill descent. So I think with this one we'll do this with the rear locker on. First slow, and we'll let Cassie do this one. She loves this kind of stuff. Being a petrol and an automatic, the Patrol doesn't quite have the same kind of engine braking as a manual diesel. For this hill descent, we've engaged a handbrake just to provide a little bit of extra braking. I'll tell you what, this hill gets your heart racing in the dry. I can't wait to come back in winter and do this one. Once again, the video simply doesn't do this hill any justice. It's that steep, it's nearly even impossible to walk on.
This will probably be a good example of a hill, a good training opportunity for some young four-wheel drivers that don't have a great deal of experience. Now, the thing about four-wheel driving in this sort of terrain, when there's a lot of rocks around, a lot of steep descents, you will find that your steering wheel will bite on you a few times. Now, which means that when the wheel hits a rock or something like that, the wheel will spear off and do its own thing. Now, a really good tip for young players is never ever put your hands or your thumbs on the inside of the steering wheel. Alright? It can end very badly for you and your thumbs and potentially even break a wrist, which is something that you definitely don't want.
So what do we all think of Brunswick Junction?
Oh, I had a terrible day today.
Shocking day?
Hated every single fantastic day today, mate. I really think. Yeah, I think we explored a bit more today than what we have since we've been here a couple of the other times, especially at what we did last night as well, that night drive that we did. Yep. That was absolutely unreal.
What do you think about what kind of cars this is suited for? Like, did your family SUV come down here and give it a shot?
Well, mate, I honestly think so, because there's, you know, just to get to this campsite, you don't need any hardcore sort of four-wheel drive. As we've seen, there was an XL. Yep. Out there this morning, so mate, it's certainly not limited to hardcore off-roaders. However, there is the option if you do want to get out there and get amongst it. Yep.
And that's the thing that we found that's really good with Brunswick Junction is the fact that it doesn't matter if you're in a twin-locked 5-inch lifted car or a stock standard X-Trail, there's something for everybody. Yeah. So if you just want to stick to the easy tracks or the more extreme tracks, well, it's up to you.
Yeah, no, I definitely agree with that. Yeah, because even the sort of stuff where we're camping at the moment at our little river crossing here, you know, it's not too far from the main road, and you know, it's good for the novice four-wheel driver to have a bit of a play around with really not too much drama. Yeah.
What do you think? What do you actually think about the challenges? They're pretty good.
I think they are. I think you can certainly pick a line that is challenging on just about every hill, you know, every incline or decline, mate. It's yeah.
One thing we definitely have to say is this place is very different in winter. So it's not too hard in summer, being dry, and there's plenty of traction. But in winter, we've been here in winter before. It's a very different story. A lot of the tracks are definite winch jobs.
Yeah, and I think the best thing, not only just the forward drive and getting covered in mud, the river down here is in full flood in winter, and it is probably the most amazing thing to see in WA. It's absolutely unreal, and especially when you wake up in the morning nice and cold overnight and you've got a nice mist across the river. Yep. Mate, there's nothing better. Absolutely nothing better.
I'll tell you what, that was an interesting day. Tomorrow, we're going to get up at the crack of dawn and explore some of the more extreme tracks that Brunswick Junction has to offer. But for now, we're going to kick back and have a few beers.
Yeah, today's going to be good. We'll get to those, get to a few of those tracks that we did the other night. And so we'll get them in the day. Should be a good day today.
Oh, it's awesome. I can't wait. I'm excited to go bouncing around.
Every day of my life.
As we were headed towards one of our next challenges, we ran into a group of young enthusiasts who were more than willing to show us around. It was good to see some young blokes getting amongst it, and to catch up with some fellow Nissan owners, which kinda left Ryan feeling a little outnumbered.
Recording.
Maybe after, let me do something crazy then.
Just talk about like what's around, like tell us about Sterling range.
Talk about Sterling and Heartbreak Hill and all the little tracks that we do.
Got Heartbreak Hill, I like the sound of that.
That's not bad.
Yeah, you can just jam me up now.
Is it Heartbreak Hill way because people lose their lover, their car?
Yeah, it's pretty crazy, but
Basically, just go up the hill, just wrecks it. You go have it perfectly or not. In the winter, it's okay. Bit of slip and slop, but you have the right rig, you're sure you will do it. Not so sure about that.
We stayed here for 3 days, and even then, we were still finding new tracks. You can easily get lost here in a maze of endless four-wheel drivers' paradise. I think I might need the locker on for this one. Now Ryan's car was the only one that didn't make it up this track. After all, it is a Toyota. Nah, to be fair, it was the only car here that didn't have at least one locker.
Do you want me to try to build that back up?
Ryan absolutely loves his truck, and he did make a smart move. There was 2 holes that were just the right space apart to cause both opposing wheels to lose traction. He was going nowhere. Instead of risking breaking a CV or an axle, he decided it was probably smarter to winch it up.
See, this is why you don't come out with Toyotas.
Burn.
So I think for this we'll just do a single line pull. It's just to get him up over that out of that rut. Which should be sweet.
You can see here, all he needed was to pull them tyres out of them opposing holes, and from there he had no issues getting to the top under his own power. This is Justin Harper's GQ'd long wheelbase patrol, and by the looks of it, he loves to drive this thing hard. And this is Shannon Dean. He's only had this car for a week or 2. I don't think it'll be too long, mate, before she's got some battle scars.
Film it.
I'm not leaning. Mate,
Oh my god, there's no worries.
you might need land credit to snatch you out. I doubt it.
I've already had that happen.
That is the walk of shame.
This is the infamous Big Daddy Hill. When it's wet down this way, this hill becomes nearly impassable. Unfortunately today, it wasn't too hard being dry.
Nothing beats the mud. Winter time's the best.
Yeah, well, this is,
for sure.
This is what do they call it? It's Big Daddy Hill. This is the one they rant and rave on about.
Yeah, this one's supposed to be the the heartbreak hill of Brunswick. This one, like in the dry, it's not it's not much, but yeah.
Right, well, we'll continue up, and see if we can find anything else.
Yeah.
Sounds like a plan.
Let's do it.
Let's do it.
Here, we were walking the famous Bob's Hill. This has to be the most challenging hill climb WA has to offer. This is definitely twin locker country, with at least rock sliders, and we would recommend at least 33-inch tyres. There is definitely the chance for major panel damage on this track, and after a discussion we decided against it, as neither the short wheelbase or the Cruiser have sliders. We will definitely come back to conquer this hill.
Yeah. And yeah, get the slow-mo cameras and fucking the GoPro.
So here we are, Brunswick Junction, Bob's Hill. Well, I think this is definitely the mother of all hills out here.
Mother of all hills in WA at least.
Yeah, we thought we'd just met some nice guys who were fucking hanging around, and we thought, you know, one of the guys was going to come and have a crack. Oh no.
We'll definitely give it a go, but I want to get some rock sliders on the old patrol before you attempt this, because you're definitely going to do panel damage without rock sliders, and I need to get the rear locker fixed because I think that's going to come in handy as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely wouldn't attempt this hill with at least 33s and at least 3-inch lift, and
winch, twin lockers, sliders, because otherwise you're just going to wreck your truck. And I don't know, if you're like me and love your truck, don't do it.
If you attempt this without a winch either, because I reckon that a lot of that's going to be a winch job.
Yeah, easy. Yeah.
Once you get up there, once you start it, you're committed, and yeah, there's no way back. You've got to go forward. So definitely make sure you got a winch as well.
Yeah, that's it.
All right. Well, we can't do that this time, but we'll definitely come back and we'll do this one again.
All right.
Cool. So that completes our weekend at Brunswick Junction 4-wheel drive off-roading area. I've had an absolute ball at this place, and I can only imagine that this place would be even more fantastic in winter time. How do you reckon?
Oh, you can definitely tell from the tracks with all the ruts. You can tell there's nice, soft, terrible mud in there in the middle of winter, and I think that's definitely going to be a trip we're going to make back here.
Oh, for sure. We're definitely going to come back. Now, in saying that, you don't need an extreme 4-wheel drive to come visit this place. If you have a standard...
agreed, mate. Yeah, absolutely. Anything.
What are they called?
X-Trail
or something like that, or a RAV4. You can come here and you can explore this place. You can stick to the easier tracks. There's a bit here for everyone. So, like we said, if you do have a big twin-locked 35-inch tyre patrol, not a Land Cruiser, of course, but you can go do the extreme. You can do the extreme tracks, or if you have a soft roader, there's plenty here for you to explore as well. Yeah. Definitely a good weekend out for anyone.
Yeah.
Anyway, that's enough from you. You happy?
Yeah, let's do it.
Well, anyway, that's enough from us here at Ruts4x4. We'll see you next weekend.
See you next time, guys.